home to the Informal Program, Informal Overflow, the 5-minute LA sports show with Bagman, and whatever else they can come up with. This is Informal Radio, Pasadena, California.
Did we say the city in Southern California?
Legally, we have to. Oh, yeah. This is the 5-minute LA sports show with Bagman.
Hello, Los Angeles. Greetings. I'm Bagman. Happy to come to you in 2024 with new episodes. It's very exciting. West finally got his act together, so now Bagman can do his show. It's not like Bagman hasn't been doing this show for however long they've been tripping over there, but no. It's like when Craig Ferguson was working under David Letterman, running the Late Late Show, except that I have no talking skeleton, and the Late Late Show is better than the Late Show, which arguably it was, but it's a different story. I'm here to talk about the Purple Team, and I'm calling them the Purple Team again because I have my concerns, folks. I'm about to go through, you hear that, the Bagman papers. I have here the papers, page 30 through 42. I have the last few Purple Team results, which concern me. But first, a lot of people have been asking, because I was off, this will not happen again. I will come to you every week I can from now on. It's in my contract. But a lot of people were asking, Bagman, what are your thoughts on the shambolic performance by the Los Angeles Chargers? Well, I'm not the biggest Charger fan. Far from it. If a team has Los Angeles in the title, I support them. But that was tested seeing the Chargers cease to play football on Thursday night in front of the nation. Amazon Prime viewers were subject to that travesty. The people of Los Angeles were subject to it because it was broadcast here locally against health code violations. And I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed that a team that bared the name Los Angeles played that way. So much so that I have decanonized them from Los Angeles. They're no longer, they're the Chargers. I'm not calling them by the Los Angeles Chargers. I know they fired the coach. Staley, he should have been gone last year. Tom Telesco, people say he's a great guy. I'm sure he's a great guy, but he hired that coach. He's hired how many coaches? Numerous coaches. And what have they done? Nothing. So they want to hire another coach? No, get him out there too. But for the time being, until I see something that changes my mind, they are no longer the Los Angeles Chargers. I hate to do this to a team, especially a team so in need of support as the Chargers, but we cannot have them fouling the good name of Los Angeles. Speaking of fouling the good name of Los Angeles, first of all, congratulations to the Rams. Remember I told you Les Snead, when he wore the shirt that says expletive deleted them picks, I said, Les, I understand you won a Super Bowl. I understand you went all in. I will have grace on you, but don't just ride for the next 10 years and say, we won a title, let's do nothing else since. And I've been very proud of the way they have handled the draft. Gotten acquisitions like this Puka Nacua and built around Matthew Stafford and their team that could win the Super Bowl, especially if they play the Lions in the first round, because we know what Jared Goff is. We've seen it already here personally. All right, now to the Purple Team. I have in front of me the Bagman papers, and I'm looking at the recent Purple Team losses. Let's go through them, shall we? The Celtics beat the Hornets, big wow. Lost to the Timberwolves twice. Now, I'm not just talking about that game where LeBron James' foot was on the line. That's not the point. What I'm concerned about are the teams they're losing to. It wasn't just that Timberwolves loss. It was a 118-111 loss on December 21st. Now, you may say, Bagman, LeBron wasn't playing. I don't care who's playing right now. You're going to have to win. At some point, you're going to have to win without LeBron James. Probably without Anthony Davis because, his injuries, health. So what I want to see is the Purple Team as a unit winning games. But what concerns me the most is the teams I just went through. Let's go through this again, shall we? Timberwolves, loss. Pelicans, loss. Knicks, loss. Mavericks, loss. These are not just random basketball teams. These are the types of playoff teams either you will be facing or the type of caliber team who in the Eastern Conference would be your equals, and you're losing to them. I don't want to hear talk about a championship. I don't want to hear talk. The Purple Team should at least be a top 6 playoff team. I'm done with this play-in tournament. I'm tired of seeing LeBron James trying to have these legacy games in 9th versus 10th matchups in the postseason play-in tournament. You did not win the in-season tournament just to roll back and say, we won a trophy, everyone go home. No. I said I want 3 trophies. I want the Western Conference Championship trophy, I want the in-season tournament trophy, and I want the Larry O'Brien trophy. And right now, they've fallen asleep when they got 2 out of the 3. Still on the table. More on this next week.
We interrupt this broadcast for a show already in progress.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of a new season of the Informal Program, a show that would like to congratulate the Detroit Pistons on doing something the Angels haven't done in many years: win a game after September. Wait a minute. That's not even, what? Really, guys? Come on.
Live from a city in Southern California, this is the Informal Program. Here's your host, Daniel West.
We are back on a different day of the week than we've been coming to you, but we will be consistent this year from the city in Southern California. I am Daniel West, your host, ready to take you on a 29-minute journey of exploration, quality radio, sports talk, occasionally decent quality. Did I mention quality radio? I'm Daniel. Welcome to the show. You may be asking yourself, how does the show work? Maybe it is how does the show works? How does the show? See, I'm in my head now because I've got this robot hanging over my head that it's a grammar robot. It's a robot that it's basically auto spell check for humans. And so I got confused. You may be asking yourself, how does this show work? Well, we do 3 segments. I talk in most of them. And in the last one, we count down our winners of the week. I'm joined by an esteemed panel. And by esteemed panel, I mean people we just got off the street. Dave Rogers is here, producer of the show. Dave, Happy New Year. How's it going?
It's going wonderful. It's going better than at Florida State, I'll tell you that.
Okay, great. We have jokes. Very nice. John Beanie, audio engineer of the show, occasionally plays audio when I ask for it. How you doing, John?
Yeah.
Great. Well said. We also have the New Snail here. New Snail is on the latest in breaking in sports. Yes, New Snail. What's up?
Well, that's big. Russell Wilson will sit the rest of the season. Exclusive from the New Snail.
Wow, that's a big deal.
What?
All right. Also, the Vegas Golden Hat, who you will not really hear from unless I mention the word Vegas, and then he just, there. He's been pretty silent after that Winter Classic. You were there, weren't you? Yeah, he was. He didn't bring any pictures. He didn't take any staff with him. We didn't get any content out of him, but the Vegas Golden Hat just floating around Seattle to watch his team lose. Well, yeah, I didn't watch.
Too far.
I wasn't too far.
No, what the snail said was too far.
You mean the hat?
Yeah, the hat said.
Yeah, we got to watch the hat. The hat showed up drunk last year to the first show of the year because Vegas won the title. All right, that's not the point. The point is, we're going to come to you every Tuesday or every Wednesday, excuse me. That's another penalty. See, she makes me nervous. I don't like having her literally hanging over my head. If you're watching on YouTube, the penalty assessing robot is actually hanging from the ceiling, and it's really unnerving. So here's how the show is going to work.
All right, you did it already. Just get to the thing.
Can I tell them about the segments?
You can spend a minute on it.
Okay, very good. So here's how it's going to work.
No, you know what? No, I don't want this. I don't want list radio. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to get top stories. You're going to get factoids. You're going to get, occasionally an in-depth segment. Occasionally, we might have another guest on. We might check voicemails or emails or whatever. But, it's going to be a sports podcast, radio show thing. I don't know. We're on the air. Just talk. We don't need to, what do you think this is? You think this is a board game? We got to explain the rules before you open it?
Okay, thank you. Dave has jumped up his producing this year. I'm also being told we have imaging for the winners of the week at the end of the show in the 3rd segment, which surprised me that we have something resembling quality imaging. That's what I'm being told.
I hired a voiceover lady with your money.
Okay. Well, okay. Very nice. So the big event, the big story, the top story in sports, at least in this part, has to be the Monday evening of college football. We had Alabama playing Michigan. We had Texas playing Washington. Normally on this show, we'd start with the Rose Bowl. We'll get to the Rose Bowl in a minute, but I just have to discuss Washington. Because if you are, whether you're a sports fan or not, this show is for everyone. If you're a sports fan, you'll enjoy a lot more of the joke. If you're not a sports fan, you'll probably learn something.
Did you say sportsman?
I was trying to move past it, but thank you, Mr. Penalty Assessing Dave, for getting on me. I don't, how am I supposed to talk with you two? If you're a sports fan, you'll enjoy the show. If you're not a sports fan, you'll learn a lot. You'll enjoy the show, and maybe you'll spout out some names at the water cooler and sound really smart because you heard it on the show here. So if you're not familiar with the Washington experience, essentially they have decided that Fear Factor is a fun identity to play football. So essentially they don't play any hard games as far as they don't have any blowouts. That's what I mean to say. I believe, John Beatty, the stat is since November when they played USC, which by no means was that much of a blowout, since November, and they've played 8 games since, they have all been single-digit games. Is that correct?
Yeah, the last game they played that was, 10 or more points they won by was the USC game where Caleb Williams was crying.
Yeah, I'd be crying too if I had to play that defense. Or if that defense were on my side. Shout out to Alex Grinch, Bagman's least favorite human, maybe.
I think the word I said was, the Grinch Who Stole Christmas was the second worst Grinch of 2023.
That seems a little extreme. I don't know, but get back in your studio, Bagman. We don't need to hear from him right now. We'll hear enough of him shouting later on. So Washington just decided that, you know what, football is only fun if football is extremely stressful and everyone's freaked out. So every game this season, pretty much since then, has been some manner of, hey, do you want to see us escape a box when we're underwater with no breathing apparatus? Including this Texas game, which, I mean, the ending of this game, if you went to bed with Washington up by like 13 with a few minutes to go, you may be like, okay, I'm sure that wasn't exciting. So if you missed it, the ending of this game is basically Washington's trying to finish out the game. Player gets injured, which means the clock stops. So Washington has to punt. And Texas decides, you know what, let's take this opportunity. And so it gets down. Washington is up by 6 at this point. So a touchdown and an extra point means the season's over. Texas is going to the national championship game. So it comes down to 4th down and goal with no time left or a second left. So it's baseball at this point. Either Washington gets a stop and goes to the college football national championship, or Texas completes a comeback that never happens if a Washington player doesn't injure himself. Like it's cardiac stuff, and they've been doing this all year to everyone. The Oregon game, the game against the Apple Cup against Washington State, where they decide to go for it on 4th down inside their own 30-yard line. Like it's crazy. They're going to win the national championship game by half a point. That's how this ends for them. They're going to win. They're going to beat Michigan, who we'll get to in a minute, but they're going to win not by a field goal, not by a point, not by a safety. They're going to somehow win by half a point because somehow Michigan is going to get so close to the goal line at the end or hit an upright and the ball is going to stay stuck or something that officials say, we don't know what to do. We're going to award Michigan half a point, and somehow Washington is going to survive. That's how this ends. With the Pac-12 going out in a blaze of glory because the Pac-12 couldn't exist with a team this good being in it, which is why it saw the future and said, you know what, I just voluntarily, the Pac-12 just dies instead of having this greatness attached to us, because that's what happened. Now we get to the Rose Bowl, which was just chess, just beautiful chess. You had Michigan come out, punch Alabama in the mouth on both sides of the ball. I mean, everyone was blocking. I saw equipment managers on the sidelines. They were blocking on some of these Michigan runs. That wasn't that funny. That didn't deserve a hey for the joke. That was just me trying to be funny. Anyway, so they counter move. Alabama does by saying, all right, well, you're going to punch us up the gut by just having your big guys just punch up the middle. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to run around them. Ha! How about that? It was a great game. Really enjoyed it. Much like we hope you enjoyed this segment of the show. Maybe. We'll be back after this.
All LA, all the time. Well, at least for 5 minutes. It's the 5-Minute LA Sports Show with Bagman.
Here are the Bagman papers. I have Chip Kelly's contract. his buyout goes down every year, which means that if you can suffer through several more years of this, the buyout will be less and they will fire him. He's on his way out anyway. But this Lincoln Riley, last week I told you I thought he was a genius because he was preparing the Big Ten to face this feeble foe when he comes into the Big Ten, and suddenly they're a decent team. But no, there's more to this. He intentionally lost to UCLA so that UCLA could not fire Chip Kelly. And then, as if that wasn't savage enough, he steals the defensive coordinator who beat him to come to USC. This man's a genius. This Lincoln Riley is a genius.
Listen to the 5-Minute LA Sports Show with Bagman before the Informal Program on all the major platforms. And now, back to the Informal Program.
We're back here on the show. Yeah, I feel like the Rose Bowl deserved more than that. That was an amazing game. Oh, just as a fan of football, just to watch the chess match, the counter moves, the moves and counter moves, because I thought it was brilliant. It was much like watching a great war general win.
Well, let's not get crazy here. I mean, like what you're saying, they saving Patton. Like, what are we doing?
I'm just saying, you've seen these YouTube channels where they start, they shout out, I'll name them, Internet Historian. Not Internet Historian. See, wow, that was a mistake. Wow, he is not one of them. I'm an Armchair Historian, excuse me.
Yeah, because when was the last time Internet Historian did a war documentary?
Armchair Historian is who I meant, excuse me. And Oversimplified and some of these other channels, I forget the other one, but there's one where they have like animations of fights and wars and battles and stuff. But it was much like watching that where they start breaking down, the army advanced over this mountain and they use these maneuvers and Napoleon did this. Like there was an element of that watching Alabama figure out, hold on, they've got a bunch of big meaty guys in the middle. What if we take our troops and move them to the side and around them? And then next thing you know, Alabama's running all over Michigan because they said there's space over here. And then Michigan in the fourth quarter, or the adjustment before that was Michigan saying, I know how we're going to confuse them. We're going to send 4 linemen, but one of the linemen is going to stunt and run from this side of the line, run to the other side, and then there's going to be an empty hole there. And then you're going to see these replays of Alabama linemen basically holding 2 Michigan players back like coat hangers because he can't block both of them. Like it was amazing. I love the game. It was not the game that if you like offense, if you like high scoring, simple football.
Whoa, Mr. Snobby.
Okay.
Yeah, just go on. The elite. You didn't enjoy the game like I did, you peasants.
That's not what I meant, but it did sound like that, so we should just move on. It's time for Beanie Factoids. This is the part of the show where John Beanie, engineer of the show who you met earlier, joins us to break down what he considers to be the top, numerical, statistical factoids of the week in sports. John, how's it going?
It's going great. Also, this is the segment where Daniel tries to take it up by talking as if he doesn't have the whole rest of the show, and I interrupt him.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. All right, John, what do you have?
Number 1.
All right, coming in at number 1, Georgia. You've heard of them.
Yeah, yes, I have.
Where?
ESPN, CBS, the internet.
Oh, wow. You've gotten around, huh? I thought I just knew about this.
Wait, you're acting like the 2-time defending, not anymore, but national champions were like some indie band that you just discovered?
Well, I didn't know how many people knew, I mean, I saw them win every week. I didn't know if people were watching, MASH or something.
MASH? What? Okay. Just to get to the factoid.
Anyway, so Georgia, they have been in the national championship game, and then this year in the that Orange Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. In those 2 games, they have outscored their opponents, and this is not a typo, 128 to 10.
What?
Okay. Hold on for a minute.
Yeah, they won the national championship game 65-7, and they won this one 63-3.
Well, that would be 100. That would be 128 to 10. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you doubt my numbers, but it's true.
Wow, that's pretty surprising. I was not expecting that level of dominance. That's pretty surprising, John.
Number 2.
Number 2, before you start talking again. All right. So this is confusing, but the last time the Charlotte basketball franchise beat the Los Angeles Clippers was it was like 2013 or something. I don't know the year. That's not important.
I think it's important.
That's only part one of the stat. But here's the deal. When they won that game, they were the Charlotte Bobcats because they hadn't gotten the Hornets name back, right?
Yeah.
You want me to go into the...
No, we won't go into the whole history of how the Charlotte Hornets became the Charlotte Hornets again and the Bobcats ceased to exist, and the greatest New Orleans Pelican of all time is Chris Paul, even though he never played for the Pelicans. We won't get into that at a later date. We will.
What?
That's a tease, folks.
Wow, that sounds like riveting radio. So, because the Hornets did not win that game as the Hornets, the last time the franchise under the name Charlotte Hornets beat the Los Angeles Clippers, because again the Bobcats existed and then the Hornets moved to New Orleans, etc. The last time the Hornets in Charlotte beat the Clippers was 2001. What?
Okay, hold on. Let me get this straight. So the last time...
Yeah, you get it. Well, I'll explain to you off air.
Number 3.
All right, coming in at number 3. Ohio State. Bunch of wins this year. 11 wins, 2 losses. The 11 wins against teams without M's in their logo. The 2 losses to teams with M's in their logo, Michigan and Missouri.
Didn't they play Minnesota?
Number 4.
Coming in at number 4, Iowa. In games against ranked opponents, lost by a combined 92-0.
What? Okay, wait a minute.
Yes.
I knew Iowa was not good offensively. I didn't know they were that bad.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Yes, that's right. The Informal Program scored as many points against...
Okay, very nice. Yeah, the old joke. Very nice. We're very creative with our jokes here.
Number 5.
All right, coming in at number 5. The first college football playoff featured... Do you remember this? Pop quiz?
Yeah, but just tell us.
Yeah, I want you to know, Mr. Sports Guy. Do you remember?
Oregon at Ohio State.
Oh, you have to get so snippy. Who played as quarterback for Ohio State?
Cardell Jones. Is this Jeopardy? What are you doing?
No, I'm just see if you remember. You're watching that Rose Bowl game. You're like, oh, you're sipping it with your wine, with your monocle. Like, I know football better than anyone. No, look at them stunned on the line. I just wanted to see if you could, relate still.
What's the factoid, John?
All right, so here's the factoid. Washington and Michigan are playing in this one, right? Which means that this era of the college football playoff will be opened and closed by Ohio State and Oregon and the rivals of Ohio State and Oregon playing in the national championship.
Yeah, because yeah, that's quite poetic because
Oregon and Washington are the rivals. Anyway, yeah, it's my segment. And those are the factoids.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that.
What was it about the Pelicans?
I don't want. Oh boy! Now we've gotten into it. Do we have enough time to get into the history of the New Orleans Pelicans?
Yeah, I want to hear this.
All right, quickly. The New Orleans. No, sorry. Let's back up. The Charlotte Hornets, expansion team in 1988.
Yeah.
They moved to New Orleans in 2002 and keep the name Hornets.
Yeah.
The NBA feels sorry for Charlotte, gives them a team, calls them the Bobcats.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan buys the Bobcats and says, we'd like the name Hornets back. The league says, you're right. They give the Hornets name from New Orleans back to Charlotte, which means all records under the Bobcats now are Hornets records, and it means that the Hornets are a franchise in New Orleans that has no identity that started in 2002.
Okay.
That franchise became the New Orleans Pelicans.
All right.
Which means Chris Paul, who was a New Orleans Hornet through most of his career, never actually played for the Pelicans, but is the Pelicans record holder in a lot of categories because that franchise started in 2002 and not in 88 because they took the name back.
Could you repeat it again, but slower?
Coming up next on the show, the winners of the week. And by the way, next week, we're going to have a blowout episode of the show because next week, boys and girls, the all-knowing computer will give us the NFL National Championship games according to the spreadsheet. That's next.
Oh, great. More computers.
And now, live from Los Angeles, it's the Bagman Report. Here's Bagman.
Now, normally you come here for scores, but this week I would like to do commentary, much in the style of Dan Rather, who I model myself after, a very even-keeled, professional broadcaster. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to announce college football is now free to the United States. It is free to the masses. No longer is it only something played by the SEC and by Clemson. No longer is Ohio State the only non-SEC team, besides Clemson, who can appear in the conference championship game for the national championship. I messed up, but I'm going to keep going because I'm a professional broadcaster like Dan Rather. We're free, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the show. Soon. Are we done? Am I still on?
And now we resume the Informal Program.
Welcome back to the Informal Program here. It is time for the winners of the week. What's going on back there?
Your computer's locked out. Hang on for a minute.
I need to get a setup wizard up there with you.
We need to put your mic down and input the password.
Why can't you input the password?
Well, hand me the computer.
I will hand you the computer. Hang on for a minute.
Oh, you had to put the mic down, huh?
Hang on a minute. Let me give you this thing. You know what? Let me just type it in since.
See?
Why'd you take the mic, Dave?
I don't know. I want some power. No one man should have all that power.
Should we still be quoting him?
Moving on. All right, it's time for Winners of the Week. Here's how Winners of the Week works. An esteemed panel of experts, judges, friends of the show, enemies of the show have come together to nominate 10 athletes, figures, teams for the Winners of the Week. We will now pick the best to honor as the Winners of the Week. And I am being told, this is very exciting, that we have imaging. Dave Rogers hired a voiceover lady with my money against my knowledge, but I guess if this is good, we're going to be happy with it. John Beanie hit me with the official imaging for the Winners of the Week.
It's time for the best countdown in sports radio. From 10 to 1, here are the Informal Program's winners!
That's impressive. I didn't think I would be impressed by our level of production, but that was not bad at all, which may as well be just art by our standards. All right, I'm being told we do not have English.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just got a little tongue-tied. That's not a penalty. Is a man allowed to misspeak?
Yeah.
Were you agreeing with me? I don't know what that was. All right, so here's the deal. We do not have enough time to get to all 10, so let's just start at number 8 with the number 8 winner of the week.
Number 8.
Wow, you have imaging for every single number? I thought it was just like we don't have announcer man coughing into a microphone.
Number 8.
Wow, this is amazing. And there's like stuff underneath it.
Number 8.
Get to it already.
All right, coming in at number 8, Jim Harbaugh of the Michigan Wolverines, number 8 winner of the week. It took him a while. First to win the conference, to beat Ohio State, but once he got rolling, he did. He's a developer. It takes him a minute. He takes a little bit to beat Ohio State, but once he beats them, oh man, he's going to beat you. And once he wins the Big Ten, it'll take him a while, but he'll beat you. And now he's in the national championship game at his alma mater. But this is not just Jim Harbaugh. John Harbaugh led the Ravens to the number 1 seed behind their quarterback. Well, who is he?
Lamar Jackson in the flesh.
That's right, Mark Ingram. So congratulations to them. That's one of our new drops this year. Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson in the flesh.
In the flesh, yeah. I was at a Rams-Ravens game, and someone just shouted that after a Lamar Jackson run, in the flesh.
Lamar Jackson in the flesh.
That's right. We got to keep moving on. All right, moving on quickly. Number 7.
It's number 7.
Coming in at number 7, Jimmy Johnson gets his name in the Cowboys Ring of Honor at long last. You know a guy has to be dominant when he is a NASCAR champion. And the Dallas Cowboys say, man, we got to honor this guy. So congratulations to Jimmy Johnson on a fine career and a long overdue. Jerry Jones, he said, he's a NASCAR driver. Why do we need to honor him? But people said he won at Texas Motor Speedway a lot. And so they finally put him in. Good on Jimmy Johnson. Good on the Dallas Cowboys.
At number 6.
Coming in at number 6, this seems very low for what I'm about to say. The Detroit Pistons, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since before Halloween, won a basketball game. Congratulations. Yeah, that's a big deal. That's all we got.
Here's number 5.
Coming in at number 5, this man is a winner right here. Mike Tomlin. Now, you may have doubted his quarterbacks. He may also have doubted his quarterbacks. Who wrote that? I didn't know he had writing. I don't know why that tickled me so much, but that's a funny note that someone put here. Yeah, he may have doubted as well. His offensive coordinator did not have any 400-plus yard games. They were winning games by what appeared to be magic of some sort. But nonetheless, Mike Tomlin, once again, has a winning record. He has never had a losing record as a head coach. So, Mike Tomlin, again, that seems kind of low. Number 5, winner of the week. Number 4.
At number 4?
You know, if she said it, you don't have to say it again.
Well, I'm used to all this new imaging. I'm not used to this level of production. Coming in at number 4, ref haters. If you are someone who really enjoys refs getting it wrong, boy, did you feast this week. LeBron James at a touchscreen, pointing, just furious that his foot was not on the line, and that was a three-pointer, Tony Brothers. And Tony Brothers said, no, that was not a three-pointer. And then ref haters in the NFL, let's not leave you out. Number 68, did he report eligible? We don't know, but the Lions lose the game anyway. Ref haters, y'all ate this week.
And now, your top 3.
Seems kind of low. The Cleveland Browns at number 3. They are in the playoffs with Joe Flacco. The poetic justice of a man who was formerly a Baltimore Raven, the team taken from Cleveland, moved to Baltimore, leading them into the playoffs and maybe to the Super Bowl. It's not a prediction, just saying. Very, very poetic.
This is number 2.
Coming in at number 2, the number 2 winner, Committee. The Committee, they were big winners because Florida State gets blown out, and they were like, ha! They were all cheering and clinking glasses together in Grapevine, Texas, saying, boys, we got it right. And then the playoff semifinals were amazing. So the Committee, big winners, but not as big as the winner of the week. Do we have the imaging for number 1? John.
Here's number 1.
There can only be one winner of the week. There can only be one inaugural winner on the Informal program, and that, of course, goes to the Strawberry Pop Tart. If you did not see the Strawberry Pop Tart's meteoric rise through the sports landscape over this past several weeks, you missed a lot. In short, the Strawberry Pop Tart was announced as the mascot of the Pop Tarts Bowl. He was supposed to be an edible mascot, and boy, did he enjoy his last few hours on Earth in style. He danced with security guards, he fed Pop-Tarts to members of the media, and then in probably the most corporate, the most American, the most college football meets sponsorship thing we have ever seen, while Hot Stuff played in the background, he was raised onto an actual toaster, fictional of course, lowered into the toaster with a sign that read, "Dreams do come true," as he prepared to be eaten. And then a Pop-Tart resembling the Pop-Tart mascot was then fed out of a slot to the winning players of Kansas State. If you missed it, you missed a lot. The Pop-Tart winner of the week. Today's show, produced by Dave Rogers, loosely. I'm Dan. See you next week. Bye.
This is the Informal Post Show.
What was that ending?
I don't know.
Bruh, I'm Dan? Who calls you Dan?
Not people around here.
Oh. I mean, it was a great show, and then you're just like, pew, right at the end, you just cratered. You just crashed. Ruined the whole thing. You were like Jalen Miller on the final play.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, you did.
That was a decent show, guys.
7 out of 10. There's room for improvement.
I like the imaging, though. That was very nice. I like the ability to broadcast without, announcer man coughing. That was very nice.
Well, I guess. Wow, excuse me.
Who are you, Bagman over there?
Yeah, what was that? Why did he say he thought himself like Dan Rather?
That was weird. That was really strange.
You're listening to Informal Radio, home of the Informal Program, the Informal Overflow, the 5-minute LA Sports Show, and whatever else they can come up with. This is Informal Radio. And now, live from the Department of Broadcaster Continuity, the Penalty Report.
Hey everyone, it's Daniel. Wanting to clean up some things here along with the penalty assessing robot. First off, I don't know why, but I said Washington played 8 games after they beat USC by double digits. No, they actually played only 5 games. So all of them were single-digit wins, but nonetheless, instead of 8, like I said, it was 5 games. A little bit of a grammatical error here. The committee is a singular body when I'm discussing them in that way. So it will be the committee is one of the big winners of the week, not the committee are, because we're talking about the singular college football playoff committee, not the individuals who make up the committee, because I didn't mention any of them. Shout out Boo Corrigan. Pop Tarts. That's how you actually say it. So it would not be the Pop Tart Bowl. It would be the Pop Tarts Bowl, because according to the branding, Pop Tart always has an S at the end, unless it's singular. So it's the Pop Tarts Bowl, not the Pop Tart Bowl, which I'm not even sure I said. No one's checked, but the penalty assessing robot just wanted me to cover my bases in case I did. But when I said Pop Tart in reference to the singular strawberry guy they ate after the game, that's correct because it was singular. So there you have that. And last but not least, turns out that Chris Paul does not really have as many New Orleans Pelicans records as I thought he did. It's kind of surprising.
Yes.
Yeah. Turns out, I think you meant to hit what, John?
What?
There it is. Turns out he leads in steals, assists, triple doubles, double doubles, that kind of thing. But when it comes to points, games played, all that stuff, that's either going to be Anthony Davis or David West, who I kind of forgot was an all-time New Orleans Pelicans legend. Also, David West did not play for the New Orleans Pelicans. So 2 of the greatest Pelicans of all time outside of Anthony Davis are Chris Paul and David West. And both of those gentlemen never actually played for the New Orleans Pelicans, which is a great stat you can tell your friends about. That's it for this week's edition of the Penalty Report. Hopefully there's no next week's edition, but we'll see you sometime in the future. Hopefully not too soon, because that means I'm doing my job and I don't have to do this.